Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So, what are the common signs you might notice while driving? The most obvious one is the check engine light glaring at you from the dashboard. You might also experience some pretty noticeable performance issues. Your transmission could feel like it's slipping, where the engine revs up, but the car doesn't accelerate as it should. It might also shift harshly or erratically, making for a jerky and uncomfortable ride. In some cases, your vehicle might go into what's known as limp mode or fail-safe mode. This is a protective feature where the transmission locks itself into a single gear, usually second or third, to prevent further damage. This will severely limit your speed and acceleration, so it's a clear sign that something is wrong. You might also notice a decrease in your fuel economy because the engine isn't operating efficiently. Now, let's talk about the potential culprits behind this P0732 code. The simplest and often most overlooked cause is low or dirty transmission fluid. Transmission fluid is the lifeblood of your automatic transmission. It cools, lubricates, and provides the hydraulic pressure needed to shift gears. If the fluid level is too low, or if it's old, burnt, and full of contaminants, it can't do its job properly. This can lead to slipping and incorrect gear ratio. So, the very first thing you should always check is your transmission fluid. Make sure it's at the correct level and that it looks clean and red, not brown or black, and doesn't smell burnt. If the fluid looks okay, the next thing to consider is a faulty shift solenoid. Shift solenoids are little electronic valves that the TCM controls to direct the flow of transmission fluid, which in turn engages the different gears. There's a specific solenoid responsible for the shift into second gear. If this solenoid gets stuck open, closed, or becomes electrically faulty, it can't direct the fluid correctly, causing the P0732 code. Sometimes, it's just a bad solenoid that needs to be replaced, which is a relatively straightforward repair. Moving on, we have to look at the transmission's internal mechanical components. This is where things can get a bit more serious. The problem could be with the clutch packs or bands that are specific to second gear. Over time, these components can wear out, just like the brakes on your car. When they wear down, they can't hold the gear firmly, leading to slippage and the incorrect ratio error. This usually requires a transmission rebuild or replacement, which can be a significant and costly repair. Another potential cause is a problem within the transmission's valve body. The valve body is a complex maze of channels and valves that directs the transmission fluid. If one of these channels gets clogged with debris, or a valve gets stuck, it can disrupt the hydraulic pressure needed for second gear to engage properly. Sometimes, cleaning the valve body can solve the problem, but in other cases, it may need to be replaced. Don't forget about the sensors themselves, either. While less common, a faulty transmission input or output speed sensor could be sending incorrect data to the TC, tricking it into thinking there's a gear ratio problem when there isn't one. So, how do you diagnose this? Start with the basics. Check the transmission fluid. If that's good, you'll need a good OBD scanner that can read live transmission data. This will allow you to monitor the input and output sensor speeds and see if they match up. You can also use the scanner to test the shift solenoids. If the basics don't reveal the problem, it's likely an internal issue. At T's point, unless you're an experienced transmission technician, it's best to take your vehicle to a qualified mechanic. They have the specialized tools and expertise to properly diagnose and repair internal transmission faults. Trying to tackle a transmission rebuild on your own can quickly turn into a nightmare if you and T know what you're redoing. To wrap up, a P0732 code is a serious issue that you shouldn't ignore. It indicates a problem with your transmission's second gear that can affect your car's drivability and potentially lead to more severe damage if left unchecked. Start with the simple checks, but be prepared for the possibility of a more complex internal repair. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video helped you understand the P0732 code a little better. If you found it useful, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and drop any questions you have in the comments below. See you in the next one.